Okay, let's change topics here because we've got about 7 minutes left, and I want to mention a couple of things I want to talk about today. And I guess I'll first mention the continuation. A lot of the layering conversation we've had today and the challenges with clones and everything is it's a topic that we cover at great length in our upcoming book. So Gabe, Jack, and I sort of put our heads together and are writing the book on desktop virtualization that, frankly, we wanted to write for probably 10 years. And so I've written books before, and Ron, of course, books, but all of our old books, and I think, Ron, this is the case for your old books also, and certainly the ones we did together, we were very sort of product-focused. We never wrote instruction manuals. We sort of wrote, like, if you're the VMware person at your company or you're the Citrix person, here's what you got to know in order to roll out Citrix or whatever. And those books were huge. They were like $60 or $70 to buy, and they were 900 pages, and, they were insane. So what we're writing right now is a book sort of on the whole concept of desktop virtualization and why it didn't take off like everyone thought it would and what you can really do about it and how to think about VDI versus client hypervisors and applications as a service and Windows future apps and web apps and all that sort of stuff. And this is the book that I'm actually going to go home after this and hopefully we'll finish writing this thing today. But I think it'll be available on Amazon in the Kindle form in the next couple of weeks.
Sweet.
It'll be like 200 pages instead of 900 pages. So I think we'll be able to hit like the $10 price point on Kindle. Probably we'll do like as a hardcover, sell for like $25 in paper form. Our working title, I was asking on Twitter earlier if anyone saw, our working title is either called The VDI Delusion or possibly The VDI Fallacy.
You guys are haters. You're VDI and Microsoft haters.
Well, and so, if you look at, so the VDI delusion is cool, but, Richard Dawkins wrote that sort of pro-atheism book called The God Delusion, and I don't want people to sort of be mad at me because I don't want to like bring any religion correlation into this. But if you look at the definition of fallacy, it's the definition literally says it's a mistaken belief, especially one based on unsound argument. So I feel like.
So when I heard delusion, I did not think for 1 second that it had anything to do with religion or the God fallacy or anything like or delusion or anything like that. Now, fallacy, on the other hand.
Different word.
The first syllable of
different
that.
word, different spelling.
The first syllable that gets me to hung up on that one.
So delusion is an idiosyncratic belief or impression that is firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted as reality or rational argument.
So if we put that definition on the first page too, I think we're good.
But I think the subtitle will be something like why desktop virtualization failed to live up to the hype and what the future enterprise desktop will really look like. So this is great because we do get into why. And what did I Risk On, Risk Off tweeted? Like the title should be called like the VDI delusion: how one company like flim-flammed an entire install base into buying shelfware or something like that. And we do open up and it's pretty critical of VMware early on, like that. How they were successful with server virtualization and why, and then how they tried to equate that to desktop virtualization and how Citrix got involved, and then like the reality of VDI where it didn't live up to the hype, and we get into our cost analysis and how to lie with cost models, and we do talk about where VDI works and where desktop virtualization works because it's certainly, I'm a big hater of VDI when it's tried to be pushed into scenarios where it doesn't make sense. Which means that people hate VDI when really it's like they should hate the person who recommended it because it didn't work. And I point out we do have 5 or 10 million VDI users in the world who are all loving it. So there's certainly a use case. It's just not, we're not turning all of our users into VDI users. And then we get into the future Windows applications and app stores and all these alternative apps, device native. I think it's a fun book. And we kind of split the writing duties. So I wrote a bunch of chapters. Jack wrote some chapters. Gabe wrote some chapters. We're sort of stitching it all together now. But regard the VDI delusion, the VDI fallacy, look for it. It'll be Kindle hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and books on Amazon. I guess probably in another end of the month.
You guys are bringing Jack right along, right?
Yeah, yep.
Bringing him along, huh?
Yeah, and for this, for this book, it's great too because there's a lot that he's able to contribute, even really only focusing on the space for it's been 6 months, I guess. But like Jack wrote the entire chapter that's about these other non-Windows application platforms. So how you deal with all these native apps in, well, I don't know, iOS and web apps and all that.
All the things that these punk kids do.
Like Jack. And it's really hard. The challenge with Jack is giving him 15 years of accrued cynicism in such a short period of time. And I think he's taken to it well with the Microsoft stuff, at least.
Well, and now, and especially, and I think I mentioned this before, but we brought in Jack around the time that we sort of formally launched our consumerization efforts. And I would argue now that Jack knows more about MDM and mobile app management than I do. And he's actually doing expert videocasts for us now, and people are asking for him, not me, because Jack's he's writing 3 articles a week on Consumerize IT, and I'm writing like once every 2 weeks on that side or whatever. So, yeah, it's working out well so far. So I wanted to get that out there, and a lot of stuff we talk about is in that book. So this is the book I'm actually most proud of. Well, I should maybe take that back. I don't want to say that, but this is a book that it's cool because it has like my most knowledge of the industry in it, as opposed to, it's not like a product guide. It's not product specific. Probably the words Zen app and View are only mentioned a half a dozen times in the entire book. It's more about sort of how you deal with this technology and how you think about delivering Windows desktops in your environment.
See, we had a suggestion from Dan Brinkman for VDI pound fail, which was the title idea that I was going for, but.
Yeah, Jack wants it to be called VDI.
Oh, then Anon 3186 yawn.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Because to me, like, if you call it the VDI delusion or the VDI fail, like that makes a statement. And VDI fail makes it sound too like trivial, like the punk kid FML kind of, first world problem kind of thing. I don't know. So we'll kind of see where we end up with that. The other thing I wanted to mention is, so we've been talking on Twitter this morning about Noah Wasmer leaving VMware. And so Noah, we've mentioned him before. He's been on podcasts before and videos we've done. Noah was an old school terminal services person from 10 years ago. He joined VMware, went into their View group, and then he's the guy who sort of created this concept of VMware Horizon, which is their platform and product and service that will tie together web apps and web app provisioning and consumer apps and Windows apps and everything. And VMware's going big. I feel like VMware's almost like dropping View from their sexy list and replacing it with Horizon. And Citrix is doing this too with what they call their cloud gateway, and I think what Centrix does this, and there's Quest is going down this path. So, but he's Mr. Horizon for VMware, but it was announced. By the way, actually, the way I found out he left VMware, and I'll give a shout out to this website. It's called Nimble? Shit, I just forgot right now. Let me look. NIMBIL. So it's this. It's called like the social CRM platform. I just use a free version. You give it access to your LinkedIn account and Twitter, and like you can log into your email if you want to, and it mines all that for data. And for me, it sends the best feature on it, and this is what I use is free, is it sends you an email each day with all your LinkedIn contacts who changed jobs every day. So it's like, please congratulate the following 5 people. And like today, it's like Noah Wasmer, like VP products at Mobile Iron. And I'm like, oh, holy shit. So we know it's public because it's on his LinkedIn profile. And so so I tweeted about that, and a bunch of people have been sort of retweeting and saying, it's a loss for VMware and everything. So he's taken this week off. He's a recent and proud father, he's taking this week off, and he starts at Mobile Iron officially next week. But I said, hey man, give me a soundbite for our show, like as to why you're leaving VMware. And as a matter of fact, I actually just got this email during the show, so I haven't even read it yet. So here's what he says. I loved my 5 years at VMware. To magnify this, I can't see. I love my 5 years at VMware.
Make sure at the end of the email it doesn't say, oh, by the way, don't mention this on the air.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, pre-read.
I loved my 5 years at VMware. I think VMware is going to drive some amazing innovation this year around a new way of working. For me, the fastest, most aggressive, and exciting changes are in mobile IT, iOS, Android, and even Windows on ARM. Parentheses, we can debate the enterprise use case. Mobile Iron is blazing a new ground in the space, and I'm thrilled to be coming on board. Okay, well, that's a good VP level statement of non-information. Loved VMware. This is exciting. Blah blah. So he'll be back from vacation next week, so maybe we can try and pull him in.
And I guess we have another MDM company to add to the list, right?
Yep, they're on the list already, aren't they? Yeah, Mobile Iron I think is tearing it up. I mean, people say good things about them. So, all right, I think that's about. We are like a little bit over our hour now. I don't know if anyone else has any final thoughts or anything for today.
No, not really. Glad Ron could join us.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, Ron, I really appreciate it. We'd love to see you at Bri Forum in London, and we can make some special provisions for you. Otherwise, hopefully we'll see you in Chicago, your hometown, and I assume where you're connecting from today?
Yep, sitting out in the basement bunker.
Nice. Well,
and I'm sure that it is a bunker.
Yeah, I've got reinforced walls in my office at least.
and room for your whole family. So, on that note, Ron Oglesby, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Gabe, thank you for joining. Jack, thank you. And all of you, thank you for listening. And we will see you all. Well, here, you can listen to us next week, same time, right here. Thanks a lot.